full walkthrough and honest review of the Grand Oasis Cancun Resort in Cancun, Mexico. So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I recently just stayed here at the Grand Oasis and I have some mixed feelings about the resort. So this is going to be as honest as possible. These are also just my views, things that may bother me or that I like, other people may not like. But I have stayed at over 20 different resorts, some of them being 5-star. So let's get into it. So right now we actually are walking through the pyramid at the Grand Oasis. So this is the main entrance. To the left is where you would go and check in. And all around there is little shops. I wanted to go down here just because throughout my entire stay, I hadn't gone down there. So I was like, I guess this would be a great opportunity to just go see what's down there. And I do want to apologize about the lighting in advance, guys. While I was recording, it did not look like this, but unfortunately, there is times where you can see now it starts to get a little bright, then it goes a little bit dimmer. I do apologize about that. If you can deal with that, definitely stay until the end because I literally am doing a full walkthrough, 360 degrees, where I basically end up where I started just so you guys can see the entire layout and again, get some honest feedback about the resort. So the check-in, like I said, was all the way to the left. It was a little confusing because there's a kiosk in the front and then they're like, yeah, wait here. So I had to wait at the kiosk, but they didn't help me. And then as soon as I got up to the girl, she was like, yeah, now you can go to the check-in. It's all the way to the left. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So what was the point of sitting in this line? I have no idea, especially after traveling and just being hot and everything else. Definitely, they could probably omit that little step because there's no reason to wait on one line just to go wait on another. The check-in process wasn't terrible. The girl was very helpful. Excuse me. I did, put in a request for a certain building in a certain room. The girl said she couldn't accommodate it, but I ended up getting it anyways. So that was nice. I do love how there is greenery everywhere around the entire, resort. I do love that. So right here is, the little tourist area. So I got some fish food. You will see why in just a little bit. This was probably my favorite thing about the entire resort. But in the pyramid, they have tourist things. You saw that the spa was there. There's a check-in. There's also the casino inside the pyramid as well. So there's definitely things to do in there. It's not just for check-in. And then obviously there's also rooms in there. So we're going to start the, the full walkthrough going to the right. Now, once you get out of those doors, to the right is building 3 and building 4. Building 3 and building 1, I'm getting ahead of myself, but just so you guys know, are the only buildings that have the ocean view. Everything else will either be the lagoon view or it's going to be the view of the property. I ended up getting a view of the property, even though I, requested a sea view, but they didn't have anything. Totally fine. I also ended up getting a suite, which made my stay a lot better. I will put that video up in the links, and I also made a video about the food at the Grand, so you guys can see that as well. So as I was saying, I absolutely love the greenery on, on this resort, and you can see all the fish that I was talking about. So they had massive koi fish, just a lot of them. So if you look to the left, there's actually kids feeding them. Do you see how many fish there is? It is crazy. I would throw in the food and they would just come swarming. But it was, it was nice to see them and nice to feed them. You really shouldn't be feeding them regular food. I saw someone feeding them crackers and stuff. The fish food isn't a lot. It's like 50 cents. For a packet of the food. So, just go buy some, guys, instead of giving them, whatever you find. I absolutely love this cute little bridge right here. You can obviously see the water feature. So as I was saying, they definitely pay attention to a lot of detail to that. Now, For myself, though, staying at a resort, it is not just about the layout. It, is about a lot of other stuff besides that. The food. The food is the biggest thing for me, the drinks and the rooms, but but the grounds itself was beautiful. So here is like a whole bunch of other koi fish. I think I actually got like the bigger koi fish. Maybe you're not interested in the fish, but I was, because there is one koi fish that is just absolutely huge compared to the rest. And I think there he is. Yep. He is just ginormous, guys. It was just really interesting to me. But anyways, so right now I am actually walking to building 4. So this is where you would go to building 4. So as soon as you get out, you go to the right, and then you'd go again to take another right, and that is where building 4 is. Now, in building 4 also, they have what they call hospitality rooms. So the day of my checkout, I was not leaving until later on during the day. So this is one thing that I actually liked about the resort. They actually allowed me to stay on the grounds up until 6 p.m. I left before then, but it's fine. I had full access to the entire resort, still was able to get food and drinks and everything else. And they actually have hospitality rooms in here. And this is what the inside of the buildings look like. It has a very just dark kind of, I don't really know what kind of vibe it has going on, but this is how it looks. Unfortunately, some of the buildings did have a mildewy smell. And unfortunately, the room that I went into, that was my sister's room, there was mold in the bathrooms. She got a regular standard room. I had a suite. My suite did not have mold, but her room in the bathroom definitely had mold. I did not like that at all. I would have complained. I don't know how they allow, guests to sleep in rooms like that and shower in rooms like that, but that was probably one of my biggest complaints. I just thought it was very gross and unclean. But anyway, so in building 4, they have hospitality rooms. So if you have a late checkout, you are able to go in there and shower. There's no bed or anything. It's just like an old room that they do not use. And you can just at least go and shower before you leave after having used the facilities all day on the day of your checkout, which again, I did like that. I appreciated it. So right now we just passed by one Italian restaurant. It's called Dos Lunas. I had gone there and ate. Some things were good. Some things, again, were just like a hit and a miss, which I feel like this entire resort is kind of like that. Like from the food to the drinks, just, everything unfortunately was just a hit or just a very bad miss for me. As you can see, there is a tourist information center right there. You will find those all throughout, a tour. You will find that all throughout, the entire property, where they have little areas where you can go and find out about tours. This was probably my favorite thing. They have little hammocks inside the trees. And that's only on the side of building 3 and 4. On the other side where 1 and 2 are, they don't have that. But again, I love the greenery. So right now we are basically walking along building 4, and the entire property goes into an entire circle. That's why I was saying we're going to do a whole 360. So right now I am walking towards one of the buffets, and then also the Bahia Steakhouse, and there is a coffee, like a little cafe, and a place that also sells gelato. So if we go, we're going to be going into the right, and to the right is where you will get the coffee, the gelato, and then also where Bahia Steakhouse is. And this all day long was always super, super crowded. The gelato here was a little bit better than the quote unquote gelato machine that they had, we will be passing by soon. That was not really gelato for me. It was more like a fat-free frozen yogurt, but here it was a little bit better. So here is the Bahia Steakhouse, as I was saying, and that line that was in the back is where the coffee is. And they do sell little like pastries, croissants, breads, and stuff with the coffees. And then straight ahead is where we go for the buffet. The buffet itself, guys, I did not enjoy it at all. I really honestly did not enjoy the food here. I did, like I said, made a food video, and I was very honest on there, but there was maybe just a handful of things that I actually ate here that I actually liked. Unfortunately, I just felt like everything kind of missed the mark for me. And you would see on my food video the crazy lines that the breakfast buffet has. Everywhere here, there is just massive wait times with stuff. I did like the flank steak though. The flank steak on this resort, like no matter at, which one of the restaurants you get it, is very soft, very tender. So I did appreciate that. So right to the right is where the buffet is, and straight where we were just looking is a little Mexican bar where you can go get cocktails and stuff. At night it opens. I did like that area. Again, we just passed by another tour area. So right now to the right is where building 3 is. And that is where I stayed. Again, I got a suite. I really did like my suite. It was nice and clean. Again, general rooms, unfortunately, they were not in great condition and I wouldn't have stayed in them. But so here again is where all the hammocks are. And I did have a room facing the property, which was nice. You just saw families and kids and stuff, just on the hammock reading books and, just relaxing. It was really nice. Another thing about this resort, I have never seen pools as large as the pools here, okay? They are absolutely ginormous. If you look straight ahead, there's even like a little bridge because it is so big from one end to the other, and they just have bridges that go over it. It is cool. It's a nice feature. And if you look straight ahead, they do have a pool bar. They do have pool bars and, swim up pool bars in both areas. This is a kid-friendly resort, so unfortunately, there is just always kids swarmed on the bars and the swim-up bars, and I don't really know if that's really allowed or it's not allowed or whatever. I don't really have a general opinion on that because for myself, I don't think they should be there. Like it was hard trying to get a drink while, trying to swim through children. But I really didn't also swim in the pools that much, guys. Maybe it's just me, obviously there's tons of people in there, but in corners of the pool, there was like this like film and like foam in them, and it looked dirty, and it just kind of just wasn't very appealing to me. So to the right was building 3, as I said. So right here is a little food area, which I thought was very cute. So they have a ceviche station, which is right in front of us. And the ceviche is actually one of my favorite things that I liked on the entire resort. It was very tasty. There is Happy Chicken, which was all fried chicken and nachos and French fries. The fried chicken for me was very salty, but I just don't eat a lot of like salty foods, I guess, or whatever. So maybe, for other people, there was always a line. Here, these are the traditional tacos. So they had like chorizo, meat, stuff like that. And then right behind it there, you can get your condiments. So today the water was not great, guys. You can see how it looks dark, and that's because it's not shadows. That's how the ocean was, unfortunately. And unfortunately, while I was here, they were doing repairs in this whole section. So we were not able to use that entire section. And there was a whole bunch of other pools there, which would have been nice to use, especially because it was right next to my building. But during my stay, they were doing tons of repairs. And I know that this is just a really big resort. So there obviously has to be, or is, a lot of upkeep, right? So there's nothing, I guess, in a sense, to do. It's not like something I can necessarily complain about or would complain about. excuse me, but you know, I didn't, in a sense, I guess, have full access to the resort. So the gelato right next to it, you could see to the right, there is a bar there. The one thing that I didn't like is that you cannot really get drinks on the beach. Oh, and one thing, if you can look to the left, that pool was empty. So they, you know, they had emptied that out and they were doing repairs on that as well. So there was no access to that, but it was only for half the day. You know, again, there's just massive repairs. So going back to, you know, the beach area. So only on the weekends, or if you have a VIP black bracelet, do they serve you actual liquor and drinks on the beach. If not, when the waiter comes around, you can only order beer, which I thought wasn't great. I've never been to a resort where they wouldn't serve liquor unless you were VIP, or really they didn't even have a bar on the beach, which I've stayed at resorts that have that, which obviously just makes the experience 10 times better. So I continuously had to walk back and forth, and the line at that bar that I just showed you was always massive. So there was never a point where, unfortunately, like, you know, I was ever able to just get a drink and not have to wait. But this section right here is connected to the other pool that I was telling you about. So these pools are very massive, which is, you know, just a nice feature in general. Like I said, the grounds itself, I liked about the resort. It was just everything else that, unfortunately, which for myself makes a resort. Like the drinks also, I did not really care for the drinks. The mixes that they have are not tasty, for myself at least. And a lot of the bars don't even have blenders, so you can't even get like really like a frozen margarita or a frozen daiquiri or a frozen pina colada. Everything has to be on the rocks, which I've never really had a pina colada on the rocks. But unfortunately, they don't have blenders at the bar, which I just think is a little crazy. So you can't get frozen drinks. But again, I really didn't care for the drinks that much anyways. But the beer inside the room was very tasty, so I can't say that. These little bridges were very cute though, as you can see. Definitely aesthetically, you know, just appealing and beautiful. And again, I will continuously say that because the grounds are very nice. So right now we are passing by a little gourmet food area, but unfortunately, unless you don't have a VIP black bracelet, you are not allowed in there to access the food. Maybe the food in there would have been better quality, but yeah, unless you have a black bracelet, you cannot use that section. So here now we are going into the other side of the resort where building 1 and 2 is. And this pool again is absolutely ginormous. It goes from one end to the other and then has a bridge to cross it. So on the other side there is an adult section, you know, which I did go and access. It was nice just to get a break from all the kids. You know, my nieces and nephews were there, but I do not have children, so that was nice. Also in this section to the left, they have a kids corner. So you're able to, you know, drop off the kids. They have activities for them and stuff, which, you know, I think is a nice feature. Parents can drop off the kids, maybe go to the adult section if they want. And to the right here is the Mexican restaurant Sarape. Sarape was nice, But again, the lines were crazy. So, my sister, had to get here at a specific time just to even get our name down. And then, she'd end up having to wait with her husband that we'd all end up meeting, or vice versa, or whatever. Because unfortunately, like I said, everywhere on the resort, there was just really long wait times for stuff. So we had to definitely get there early to reserve a table. You don't need reservations for there. So that is a little piece of advice. So right now we are walking into what they call La Placita. And this is another food area, kind of like the mini food area that we passed by building 3. So here they have pizza, they have a little bar, they have the happy chicken, fried chicken, the tacos, and they're all just little food and drink stands, which, is cute so people can go and get food. There is some pizza here. I'm from New York and I've traveled to Italy, so the pizza here was not great at all, but I guess just depending on what maybe you're used to, you'd like it. But yeah, so here's the bridge going over, and there is actually a lot of peacocks on the grounds, which is, just really nice to see. They have different animals and stuff, which is nice. So here is the swim up bar for this section, and you could see just how massive this pool is. That, like, I'm gonna keep on saying it, I did like the grounds. So that definitely was a nice feature of things. So right now to the right, like I was saying, here is where the adult section is, and straight ahead is building 1. And again, building 1 has the ocean views. I do love how there is palm trees just everywhere. It makes you feel like you're in the Caribbean, you're in the tropics, you're in Mexico. So definitely great. So the adult section was nice, and they had amazing music playing all the time. But I don't know what, about the pools here, but the adult pools were very cloudy and dirty looking also, and had that weird foam, filmy kind of thing, in the pools. I don't know what it is. I grew up with pools, and I've never really seen that, and I've never seen that in other resorts. So unfortunately, I just didn't go into the pools because I didn't really know what they were. So right now I had walked through building 1, and in the back they have a walkway to get from building 1 to building 2. And I do like that a lot of the sections on the resort do have, like this little walkway, and you can get some shade at some points. You can see it further ahead as well, just so you can get some relief. So there is another maki taco right there. And then there is Il Trattoria, I'm trying to speak Italian, guys, Italian restaurant also here. So there is another eatery, well, 2 other eateries over here as well, in between 1 and 2, that you guys can definitely go check out. For Trattoria, I don't remember they don't take any, actually. They don't take any reservations. Let me backtrack. But some of them don't even let you put your name down. So like with the Bahia Steakhouse, I'm backtracking a little bit, guys, but this is information that you'd need to know anyways. They don't take any reservations on the resort at all for any of the restaurants. You basically have to go around 2 o'clock and just wait on a line to get your name down for the evening. And you just kind of hope that the line isn't long and you make it in time. But unfortunately, like, who wants to kind of leave during the day, like while they're having fun in the sun or whatever, to go wait on a line? So we never actually even made it to Bahia Steakhouse, unfortunately, but that's just kind of how they run things here. I don't personally care for it, but maybe because the grounds are just so big that they think that is just the best way, like first come, first serve. So this is a little bar right by building 2, Gecko. I stopped for a pina colada because I finally found a bar that had a blender. But I didn't finish it because unfortunately I just didn't like the mixes that they have here. You know, call me picky or whatever, but I've stayed at 5-star resorts and I've had drinks and food that have just been so exceptional, and it just here missed the mark for me. So right now we are walking along building 2. And again, I do love that they have this walkway. And again, you know, you get some shade and you get some relief from the sun. Here is another tour area where you can find out about tours. Again, they have them all over the resort. And as I said, we are doing a 360. So right now to the left, you will see we're going to be passing by La Placita, but on the other side. All right, so now we are coming up to where you would actually find the club on the grounds. So the club is to the right over here. So it is by building 2. I did not go to the club, but I did hear that it was fun. There is also tennis courts here, right to your right, obviously, as you can see them. So the kids club, you can access it from here as well. And this guy, he was so great. He hands out the tennis rackets and stuff. So right now we are basically on, I guess what you would call the left side of the pyramid, but we are walking right now back to the pyramid, as you can see. And these tables and chairs, I thought were just a little random. I mean, you know, not like a big thing or whatever. But I was trying to figure out if there was like some type of food section here that I missed and, you know, why they were here. Or maybe it's just if someone wants to like take a break, or I guess maybe just extra sitting area for guests. But yeah, so we are pulling up right now to the door of where I got out for the pyramid when I first started our tour. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. I hope this was helpful. Like, share, subscribe, guys, and I will see you soon.